All right, we're live. David, live with Black Belt Zen, 9 p.m. exactly on Thursday, June 24th. Usually we do these videos on Wednesday. Got a little bit delayed this week. I'm not going to get into details, but that's just kind of the way life goes sometimes, as I'm sure all of you know. Probably about 40 minutes ago or so, the Golden Knights lost. They lost to Montreal in overtime. The Canadiens scored quickly in overtime to win the game 3-2 and win the series 4 games to 2. I don't know what happened to Mark Stone in this series. He's one of my favorite players. He's one of the best offensive players in the entire league, and he had a really good season. And he disappeared in this series. I mean, it's not just Carey Price who they're going against with Montreal. He just didn't get many shots, many opportunities. He had a bad turnover the other night on Tuesday night in game 5, which led to a goal by Montreal, which pretty much put the game away. Vegas did make a good effort in the third period, but they were down 3-0 against the best goaltender in the world in Carey Price, and the offense just can't make up for that. You give up 3 goals against Montreal, you're going to lose most of the time, and that's what happened. It happened last game, it happened this game, and you really go back to game 3 on Friday, where they had that game. It was 2-1. Fleury botches it. The puck goes in the net. Montreal wins in overtime, and it just felt like Vegas was going to have a tough time recovering. And they did. They bounced back the next game and won again in overtime. There's a lot of overtime games that they played this postseason. They ended up losing most of them. And they did win on Sunday in overtime. Nicholas Waugh with the game winner, but then they sucked. They absolutely sucked Tuesday night. And they played much better tonight, but it wasn't good enough. They had a couple of, you can say some bad luck there on the first goal, but they just didn't take advantage of opportunities, didn't create enough opportunities throughout the whole series. 0 power play goals the entire series. 6 games. Couldn't get 1 power play. So, it's great that the Golden Knights have had such tremendous success so early, made it to the finals their first season. The team has been around for 4 years. 4 years. 3 of those 4 years they've made the conference semifinals, and once going to the finals. And they've been in the playoffs every year in their existence. It kind of feels like, though, that they're one of those teams that's, we see this in sports, teams that have a good stretch of years but don't win a title. We saw the obvious one, the Buffalo Bills of the early 90s. We saw the Philadelphia Eagles of the early 2000s, 4 straight conference championship games, no Super Bowl rings, 1 appearance, but no titles. The Atlanta Braves of the 90s, they did get 1 World Series ring in the strike year, but other than that, they didn't win. They got to the World Series, they lost to the Yankees a couple times, they lost to the Twins, they lost to the Blue Jays. But is Vegas becoming one of those franchises? Are they one of those teams that is competitive every year but can't quite get the title? It's starting to feel that way after this one. I thought they were the best team in the league, or tied for the best team in the league with Colorado. When they beat Colorado, it was a grueling series, but they were able to beat Colorado in 6 games, and I thought, that's it. That they've got a great shot at going to the finals. And they looked good in the first game, and they just were shut down and they collapsed. And it's frustrating. So that's the season for the Golden Knights. Especially frustrating because I had tickets to Game 7 on Saturday, and how cool would it have been to see a Game 7 in your hometown with your hometown team a chance to go to the finals, and not going to get that this year. You only get that chance maybe once or twice in a lifetime, and if they could have won tonight, it would have been there, but it's not. So, but I've been pretty fortunate to be in a place where the team has had so much success so quickly. You get some places like Buffalo, the Sabres have been awful for a long time. The Maple Leafs, who have more probably resources than anybody in the league, haven't been to the finals since the 60s. And Vegas was just there in 2018. And then you get some teams that, like Arizona and Minnesota. Minnesota is one of those teams that too. They're in the playoffs almost every year, but they've never been to the finals. They've been around 20 years. So it's count some blessings there, but it's just kind of on the night when the elimination happens. It's easy to focus on the negative. By the way, ESPN just sucks. All right, I understand they want to promote the NBA, and that's fine. I don't watch the NBA. I don't like it. To me, it's a terrible product, and it's been that way for a while. But I know people who watch it. I got a friend who's a big Phoenix Suns fan. I don't know if the Suns won tonight or not. I heard they were losing, but they're ahead in the series 2-1. I hope Phoenix wins it just for him. And I understand that ESPN is highly invested in the NBA because they spent, I don't know what the amount was, but a lot of money to get the NBA. But there's other stuff going on. I mean, I'm at the sports bar waiting for the game to start, the hockey game, and they've got ESPN on, and it's NBA, 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 NBA. That's all it is. Just beat you over the head with NBA. And then on the promotional strip underneath at the bottom of the screen, it says, coming up next, NBA countdown. And then after an hour after that, the NBA playoffs, and then the game. And then after that, the lead story is going to be the NBA on Sports Center, and there's going to be a post game. Get out. I did hear that the ratings for the NBA have gone up now that LeBron James isn't there. I have mixed feelings about that. I'm glad that LeBron isn't there. And if the ratings were to go up, I'm glad that it's because LeBron's not around. But also, I don't like the NBA, and I guess I don't care if the ratings go up. It's not that I don't like. I just don't like LeBron James. I'm just sick of his constant BS and his preaching and his phoniness and his opportunistic crap. Just sick of it. That's why I hate the NBA. It's why I stopped watching. So the NBA sucks. ESPN sucks. All right, I'm gonna take a breath. This is something that we're gonna get into here real quick. Timeshares. I've never had a timeshare. I hope you've never had a timeshare. Living in Vegas, I can tell you that this is kind of a hub for timeshares. Lots of people have them. They're a scam. Don't get involved in timeshares. Don't do it. They're gonna, if you come to Vegas, and I hope you, do someday if that's something you want to do, and have a good time and all that. But if you come to Vegas, timeshare people sometimes hang out in the casinos on the strip and try to get you to come to their seminars or their presentations or whatever those things are. Don't go. They'll try and encourage you to go by saying, oh, you'll get a free hotel room or you'll get free show tickets, something like that. They'll put that bait on the hook, hoping that you'll bite on it, as Tim Allen said, just like a big dumb bass. That's what they're hoping for. Don't give them the opportunity because whatever you get for free is not going to be worth the time and the hassle that they put you through. So they'd usually say, oh, it's like an hour, hour and a half, and then you'll be stuck there for 4, 5, 6 hours sometimes. And you may or may not get those free tickets. You might end up signing up for a timeshare. When you say to yourself, I would never do it. I would never do it. I'm just going for the free tickets. They're not going to pressure me. I'm not going to give in. They're not going to talk me into it. And then you walk out of there thinking, that's exactly the opposite of what I said I was going to do. I wasn't going to sign up, and now I did. And now they've got you. They've got you. And timeshares are very, very difficult to get out of. Almost nobody is happy with their timeshares. If you don't like timeshares, that pretty much means you're human. It's about all it means. Because these things rip people off for thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. People can't get rid of them. Even if they can get rid of them, it takes a lot of money to get out of them. And again, most people, very few people really, percentage wise, are able to get out. They get it, they realize it sucks, they realize that this is a terrible use of money, and they try to get out and they can't, and they end up having to spend, even if they do get out, sometimes thousands and maybe 5,000, maybe more dollars to try and get out of a timeshare. Do not go for the timeshare. Don't go to the presentation. 97% of the people who have timeshares wish they didn't get it. 97%. You're not going to be in the 3%. You're going to be in the 97% because you're going to get ripped off. That's what these people do. So, and it's the same everywhere. It's the same everywhere. I don't care if you're in Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't care if you're in Orlando, Florida. I don't care if you're in Madison, Wisconsin, or anywhere else in the country. Timeshares are a scam. Stay away from them. All right? That's my advice. And here's another thing that I'm not sure how many people know this, but I used to have a friend who I've lost touch with, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that the information I'm going to tell you is important. And what's important to know is that timeshares stick around even after you die. If you die and you have a timeshare, anything you owe on that timeshare is passed to the next of kin. So you could pass it to your spouse, you could pass it to your children, and now they are legally responsible for dealing with that mess. So not only are they ripping you off, but they're ripping off the people closest to you if you can't get out of it. That's who these people are. They will lie, they will manipulate, they will bully, they will put pressure on you. They're worse than a car salesman. They're worse. And how many times have you gone into a place and said to yourself, "Oh, I'm just going to look. I know they're going to try and sell something to me, but I'm going to hold my ground and I'm just going to look." And then you ended up buying something. They talked you into something. It happens all the time. Maybe not every time, but it happens a lot. And I guarantee you that the timeshare people are going to pressure you a lot more than the salesperson who's going to try and sell you something at Target or Walmart or Best Buy or wherever. Okay? And they're going to lie to you. Did I mention they're going to lie to you? I hope I mentioned that because they're going to lie to you. These people are just pure frauds. They're liars. They're thieves. They don't care about you. They scam you. You get frustrated. You lose your money. You get angry. You get screwed and they get rich. Does that sound fair to you? Does it? Doesn't sound good to me. I don't like being ripped off. I don't like feeling stupid. Maybe you do. I hope not, but I don't. So avoid timeshares. Unless you want to get ripped off and unless you want to feel stupid, avoid timeshares because they're a scam. That's what I do. I avoid timeshares and I hope you do too. So come to Vegas, have a good time, but do not get suckered into a timeshare because they're a scam. All right. I haven't had a very good day, but that felt better. That felt better. Calling out some of these scumbags who just rip people off every time they turn around. And there's so many people like this. And if you're selling timeshares, don't. Quit your job today. Find something better to do. Find something honorable. Find a way to make a living that doesn't include ripping people off, just blindly ripping, especially people. A lot of these people who are being ripped off are vulnerable, that they're elderly or they're people who don't have a lot of money. And they get roped into this stuff. It's, oh, hey, free show tickets or free hotel or free vacation. It's not free. It's not free because you end up paying a lot more once you get suckered into the deal. Do not get a timeshare. I hope I've been clear. I hope that I have. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, click subscribe, click the like button. Make sure that notification is on because we do live videos every week. In the description, I have linked my Twitter page. You can hit me up on there, the website. This is David with Black Belt Zen saying good night, and I'll talk to you next week. Good night.